Welcome back to my channel. So this tutorial will be on how to make our corset dress. We did the drafting on our last tutorial, so this is going to be like a sew along with me. We're going to be sewing this beautiful dress that we've cut. We're going to put them together on this tutorial, on this class. So if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment, tell me yes you're going to do this tutorial, or you're working on it, or you've already done yours, you're waiting for the sewing. So let's spice it up like that. So I'll be showing you the materials you'll be needing to make this dress. You can buy a fabric of your choice, any fabric of your choice. So let's move to the cotton table. So guys, welcome back. Now these are the materials we'll be needing. We'll be using these materials to sew. This is our patterns, which we've already drafted and we've cut them out. So we're going to be transferring them to our fabric, our skirt and our bodice. Now for this tutorial, I'll be using a wadding to pad this. We'll be using a wadding to pad the dress. That's the cup side. Now I have the very medium wadding. This is the M1. This is a very soft one. I think I have to. Yeah, this is a very soft one. So this is the one I use. Shouldn't use that strong one. So using the wadding and S-stay. We're using an S-stay for it. This is how my S-stay is. Do not buy that very light one. We're padding with this. With our boning. Now we're using a Regilin boning. If you watch the video, the picture very well, you will know that you'll see that they used only Regilin boning for that style. So I'll be using a Regilin boning for it. This is what I'll be using. I'm not going to be doubling it on this class. This is what we'll be doing. We'll be using this. So you're going to be sewing on it. This is a sew on boning. Like, you should know the difference between different types of bonings. I think I should make a video of that to drop the types of bonings we have. Then I'll drop a boning technique, like different types of boning techniques. So this will be sewing on it. I have like 2 yards here, but I think I'll be needing more than this. So we're needing, this is the lace I'll be using, the green lace. I'm using this green lace for it. Like I said, you can buy, you're going to buy any fabric of your choice. So I'm using this green lace, this doll face. We'll be using a lining. Using a lining for it. You can use your doll face to lining it if you have more. So now for the yoke, I'm thinking of using this for the yoke. This net, this is what I'm thinking of using for the yoke. And the sleeve. So I think this is basically all we'll be needing for this, for the sewing of this dress. So guys, we'll start off by, I'll be using my doll face to cut out before we move to padding. Now class has started. You should pay close attention at this point. So now I'm going to be cutting the upper bodies first. You're going to work with the upper bodies first. While I keep this aside. Now I've gone ahead to iron my doll face. You have to iron your fabric before you cut. I've gone ahead to iron my doll face. So I'm going to be placing this on it, all our patterns on it. So I've gone ahead to mark out all my allowance. Now for the modesty panel, we are cutting just 2 piece for the modesty panel. We do not need a lining for it. You're just cutting just 2 pieces for this modesty panel. Now this is my back. Remember, I'm adding 1.5 to the sides. So I'm adding to my center back and my center front. I added 1.5. So please, what I do is I place my tape this way and mark. Please do not be a professional at this. You have to place your tape and mark out all your allowances. When I got to 1.5, I have to place it this way and mark out my 1.5. So I did that for our cup. We have 1/2 inch all round our cups. Now for the center back, we have 1/2 inch at the top, down, the center back. Now for the side, we added 1.5. The same thing goes to the front. So the front, center front, we have the center front on fold. We added 1.5 at the side, added 1.5 to the side, and to the M added 1/2 inch. So now I'm going to be cutting this out. I'm going to be cutting it out, and I will be cutting out our lining. I'm using the door face to lining it. Okay guys, I just went back to the picture and I found out that there was a cup styling on this pattern, so we have to redo the cup. But I'm taking out my pin, so we are not going to be needing this one anymore. We won't be needing it anymore. I'll keep it aside. Now to get your cup styling, you are going to go to sellotape back your cup together. So I'll be taping it down. I'm going to tape it down. Make sure they align together and they are equal at the upper part. See what I'm doing? Okay. Now after doing this, what I'll do is to come down by 2 inches. This is how to get your cup styling. I'll come down here by 2 inches, depending on what you want. I'll come down by 2 inches here. Here I'll come down by 2.5. And for the center front, I'll come down by 2 inches. Now you can connect this with your curve rule. I'll try using my free hand to do it. So I think I have a perfect curve, and I'll cut it out. So now we'll have 3 pieces instead of 2. This is our center front. This is our side front here. This is down. This is up. You have to put this label so you will not forget. So now we are going to be cutting out this piece again. We are going to be cutting out this piece again, so I can do this. I'll try to use the old one to cut out. So you can style this your cup anyhow you want. Now you can either use the lace to cut out your cup, or you can make your own to be plain. The picture will have they didn't use anything, it's plain, and they used a velvet. but I'm using a doll face, so it depends on what you want. Now I'll be cutting out these ones, and I'll place this upper part and cut out 2. So I'll also be cutting out 4 of these too. So we are going to be marking 1/2 inch all round. Always pin down before cutting to avoid some unnecessary mistakes. So I'll be marking out 1/2 inch all round. For the front, I wasn't supposed to open it when we're adding fullness to our skirts. You know, we went ahead to open it by 1.5 for the front. We're supposed to do it just for this side, since I wasn't going to have a cut through on the middle. So now I'm closing it back. This is for our skirt. I'm closing it back. I went ahead to lose out the tape, so I'm closing it back. I'm bringing it all the way, yeah. So this is it. I've closed it back. It's now straight. It's supposed to be center front. That's what I mean. Center front is supposed to be straight. So now we'll now have it straight. I'm going to take it back. If you've already drafted your skirt, you have to do a correction on it before you cut, except you want to have a cut through at the center front. So I'm going to trim out the excess paper. So now for the hem, I'm going to check what I have here. I have 21, so I'm going to blend that all the way. But if you feel that your addition is going to be equal, like when you blend it very well, if it does not seem equal, please carry on with what you have. So here I can maintain this one. I'm going to leave this other line. The other paper added at the hem, I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to pin it down and cut. So now we're having fullness at the side, not at the center front. But if you feel you want to have a cut through on your center front, then you have to add the fullness and cut it open. So it's good thing I noticed this on time. So I'll be pinning it down. Now for the back, you're leaving the back the way it is. This is applied to only the center front. You're leaving the back the way it is. So I'll pin everything down and then I'll cut. Alright, so I'm gonna need to mark out my chalk. Following this my lining. So I'm gonna head to mark out 1.5. Now I've connected it to the material, to our main fabric, which is our lace. Okay, my marked as 1.5 all the way. Now I added 3 inches to the hem. To the hem, I added 3 inches. So now I'm going to be cutting out the front, then I'll cut out the back. So for the back, I've pinned it down. And I'll be taking from this point my 1.5 as our hem. I'm taking 1.5. This is our side back. You're taking 1.5 as a side, and you maintain your 1/2 inch at the center back, and still add 3 inches at the hem. So following my markings, I'm cutting out the back with our 1.5 inches allowance that we gave. Cut out the front and the back of our skirt. So this is it. This is the front and back of our skirt. So guys, I also went ahead to cut out our lace. I want to place it on just the upper part of our cup styling, of our cup. So I'm going to be adding that. I had to cut out 2. See? I want it to have that effect. Alright guys, so now finish cutting out all our pieces. Finish cutting out all our pieces. Now the next thing I'll do is we are going to use our essay to iron on all our pieces. We are going to use our essay to iron to give it that thickness. So I will do that and we'll continue. I'm going to be doing this for all our fabric, both the lining and the main fabric. That's what I'm going to be. But for the skirt parts, if you just want to use it for only the lining, fine. So I'll do that for all the up bodies and the skirts before we continue. Alright guys, welcome back. So I've gone ahead to pad my essay on my lining, just the lining part. For the down, but for the up, I had to pad both the lining and the main fabric. So we are going to start off by, I'm going to join the cups first. Alright guys, we are going to be cutting out wording for one of this piece and one of the side piece. I'll do the same thing for this other one. So I finished cutting out our wording. We are going to be ironing it. So this is what we'll be doing. We are going to iron it on it. So we are going to press this down. We'll do the same thing for this other side. We are going to press this, and we are going to, before we join. So we are going to join. This is what we are going to do. This is the nipple point, so you're making sure that you're going to join them together. All right, so this is how to join your cup. Now, as you can see, I placed the pattern for me to know where I'm joining. We'll be joining this side, so I'm going to take it out. Now I'm going to be joining like this. This is our bust point. So you can actually do this. You can place this on it, taking out your half inch all round, and try to mark out the down part of your curve. This for the side. So now I'm going to be doing this. I want to start from the down. You're making sure it's at the down, and use your tape to mark out 0.5 inch. Since that's also added, you're going to be marking it out. So from there, I must make sure that it gets to that point we marked at the side. So I'm going to be placing it, and I'll sew from there. Make sure you stretch out your fabric. Try to make them to match. Try as much as you can to curve. Now this is the nipple point. So you have to be very careful when you get to this place, and make sure you're turning it very well. So this is it. Now I'm going to be, I'll notch. So I've gone ahead to join all our cup. Now this is the up. You can as well notch the up so you will know. So guys, I've gone ahead to pad with my wadding. I'm going to have to pad everything with my wadding. So now we are going to be joining the cup. I'm finished joining the lining. So now what I will do is to match the lace on our cup styling. Yeah. So yes, this is it. Now I'll be using my wool gum. If you do not have an wool gum, you can do this. You can use your pins to hold it down and sew round, maybe by 0.1 or 0.2. But I want to use this on my, especially on my bust style, on my cup styling. I can do that. I'm going to now. So now I'm going to be putting this on this part. It will not touch the net side. So I'm just going to do just to hold it down. I don't want to touch the net side. For this other one, I'll just touch all these points. Just to hold it down. So I'm going to gently bring it down. I'm going to lay it on it gently. So this can help me to hold it down. I'll do the same thing for this part. So yeah, this is it. Now we'll go and join this. Yeah, so this is our front and this is our back. So I'm going to match them up. So yeah, you use your pattern to, like what we did with the lining. I'm going to be matching this up and I'm going to sew. I'm going to match it up and sew all around. Then we'll join our cup styling. So guys, now I've used my pattern to match it up. So you should not throw this away. It's very, very important. So without this, I don't think you will get it correctly. You might not. So now I've known that this point is my nipple side, that's my nipple point. So I'm going to make sure I connect them together by turning to this point. So you can do that starting from the down. You can do that. So I'll be starting from the down. On a ½ inch. So you can mark that. You can mark that to guide you. just what I'm doing. You can mark it to guide you. When you do all these things, you find out that after, when your client comes for fitting, or when you're fitting your dress, you won't have any adjustments to make. You won't have any. If you've taken out all the allowances you added, I don't think you should have any adjustments on that dress. It's going to fit perfectly. So you just do all these things to avoid maybe it's not fitting well. So now I'm going to be running it, making sure that they are laying together. I'm trying to make sure I turn it properly. So the match at the end. So I think I'll finish up with one. So this is it. I'll do the other one off cam. Let me use this one. Now you have to know where is your center front and your side front for our curb styling. Now looking at it, this place is my side front. Yeah, this is my side front. This is my center front. So this is my side front, and I'm going to make sure I'm matching it up with the side, and this is my side front. So I don't think this is not for weight, so you're going to change it. Should be for this one. So here, this is my side front. So here, it is my side front. Here, I've known that this is my side front, and I'm going to look for the center front for this one. This is my center front. Looking at it, I'm able to know that that part is my center front. So I'm just going to be sure by putting it back. So now that I've known that this is my center front, I'm going to match it together. Of my curb, I won't be having any issue. But if you're not sure, you can just bring it into two and notch. You also notch here, or you're placing it here, and make sure that you start from that place you notch and you sew round to this other side, then you come back and sew to this other side. But since I am sure of my curb, I'm just going to match it here, and I'll start sewing it. On a 1/2 inch, you can as well mark out your 1/2 inch, but I'm used to my 1/2 inch, so I can use my eye gauge to get my 1/2 inch. But if you know you don't know your 1/2 inch, please mark it out. And now when I get to this part, I'm going to open up my seam. I'm going to open up my seam like this. make sure you're getting it right. Don't rush. See, it's laying flat. You're not supposed to rush. Try to make sure your cup is blending, and when you're turning it, you're aligning them together. So I'm going to be doing this. So this is it. This is how it will be. This is my cup. So like I said, on the picture that the one we are using to make this, they did not have any lace on it, but me, this is what I want. You can do anything you want. You must not use the exact style. You can do any one you want. So now this is it. Now I'm going to go to my ironing table. I'm going to open up my seams. That's after notching. I have to notch. Then I'm going to go to the ironing table, and then I'll open it up and press it. Do the same thing for this other side. And I'm going to press them. Alright. So this is what I'll be using to iron this. So you can make this. You can make this with Estee and some of your scrap fabrics, the ones you're not more using. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to be pressing this open, all the seams. I'm going to be pressing them open and iron with this my tailor's ham, mini tailor's ham. So this is what I use. I have two sizes, one smaller one. I use this too. So okay guys, I've gone ahead to press my seams so they are all open. So now I'm going to join it with our upper bodice. So I'll take out one. Now you're going to be making sure that the center front, which is here, is going to match up with this center front. Now the side front here is going to be at the side front. Now I would like to sew from the side because our side is straight. Our center front, remember we came in a little, so to give me a good curve. Now I'm going to flip over my cup like this. Please note, if you want to use a already made bra cup, you don't want to use wadding. Now you're going to join all your pieces before you fix your bra cup. But you should try out the two and know the one that works for you. Now I'm going to be joining it this way and sewing on a 1/2 inch round. I'll do that. And as you sew, make sure you open up your seams. Make sure you open up all your seams and sew. So I'm going to place it. Now I'm sewing on a 1/2 inch. Please mark if you're not sure of your 1/2 inch, else it will take out from your bodice. Remember, we just added only 1/2 inch. You're going to take out from your main cup or your bodice. So now I'm going to run it 1/2 inch all round. Remember, I said this is for beginners and advanced, so I wouldn't want to rush, else I would have just skipped this part. You can use your hand to straighten it. And try to get your curve properly. When I get to this other part, I have to make sure that my seam is open. Now, while doing this, you have to take your time. Make sure you are lining them together. Take your time. Do not rush. I always say, whenever you're sewing and you feel you're tired, please rest. Take a break. So while you're cutting your fabric and drafting your patterns, you have to make sure that everything is accurate. Else, when you're sewing, it's going to disturb you. You'll find out that one side of the cup sits properly and the other side does not match. So you end up maybe cutting out or start losing again. You get yourself confused. Always make sure whatever you're taking is accurate with whatever you're taking at the other bust or the side. Now, I'm not skipping until I finish this one, so you can get this right. So you see, so we are done with one part of the cup. Now you're going to be pressing this flat like this. Now we'll be top stitching. I'll top stitch, laying it like this. So it's going to be laid flat like this. I'm not going to turn it over like this. It's going to be laying flat. Now I'm going to top stitch all round. That will be after I finish pressing it with my iron. After I finish joining this other part, I'll press this place to lay flat. Then I'm going to top stitch all round. So I've gone ahead to fix After fixing, this is what we have. Now remember that we moved ½ inch on our center front, so by the time you open it up and close, after removing all the half inch you added around, when we were drafting our pattern, we came in by 0.5. That's on the center front. When we're drafting our pattern, I said go in by 0.5. Now when you open it up, it will give you 1 inch after joining. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to top stitch round. I'm going to be top stitching round our curve. Like I said, your top stitching out should be out, and I went ahead to notch the round of my curve. I went ahead to notch so it can lay flat. It can lay flat. So now I'm going to be top stitching round. Please try to make it neat. Try to make it neat. This is how you top stitch. So yeah, I finished top stitching round the curve. So your top stitch should be neat, shouldn't be too big. Now then we move on to fixing our bonings, and I've showed you on my previous videos. I've been able to clear on how to fix this Regilin boning. So I think I can do that up, or I can fix one again to show you, just for our beginners. So guys, I went ahead to cut out the lace for the back. So I want the back to have the lace. So for our boning, what I'll be doing is I'm going to rule out our boning lines with my ruler and my chalk. So I'm going to be ruling out our boning lines. So here, this my rule is 1.5, so I think I'll be using 1.5. I'll be using 1.5 from our center back. We'll have one boning line, and here I'm going to do this. I'll just open it up like this. I want to have like 3 lines. So 1.5. Or I can make it straight. Let me make it straight. I'll make it straight. So you can do any design of your choice. I'll just have 3 boning lines for the back. I'll do the same thing for the other back. Okay, this is my center back. So now I have exactly three lines for my boning, and I'm going to keep it aside. Now for our front, you're going to get the midpoint of your center front, and you're going to come down by 0.5 or 0.75. So you're going to get the midpoint, and you're going to roll. You can do this to get the midpoint so it will be straight. So it will be straight. I think this can give me my midpoint. I'll just press it down with my hand. So when I open it up, I should have, I don't want to mark outside though. I don't want to mark on the fabric, so I will do this. I'll follow that line I got. So yeah, now I'll be having 4 on this side, 4 on this side, like 3 plus this one will make it 4. So now I'm going to, depends on what you want. Like I said, the pattern we are following, I think it's, let me see if I can do this. So whatever space you have here should be the same space you're giving to this other side. So now I'm going to check what I have here. I have 2.2. I have 2.2. I have 2.2 for the upside. Here I have exactly 2. So I think I'll do that. Here I will have 2. Here 2.2. And I'll connect it. Okay, so here is 1.5. Here is 1.5. So I'm going to roll it down. And I also have 1.5. So this is it. I've marked out our boning lines. Now to fix your boning, like I said, your boning, when fixing your boning, make sure since your boning is coming this way, you're not going to be turning it like this. You're going to fix it the same way it's bending, like this. You're not going to turn it over. You're going to be fixing it like this. So if you're using a plastic boning, that means you are going to create a channel for it. So here, this one, we are going to be sewing on top, and here when we get to the down, we are not going to sew all the way to this point. We are going to stop ½ inch away, or yeah, ½ inch away. So I'm going to place it on top of our line, and I'll start sewing. You know, this boning, this particular type of boning, it has where you're going to be sewing on both sides. You're not going to sew inside. On both sides there is a thin line where you should be sewing on. So I'm going to sew this with you, and the other one I'll sew it off camera. As you're sewing, make sure you are aligning your boning on the line. When I get to boning, I don't sew with loose stitch. I don't normally sew with loose stitch though. I don't like loose stitch, so I'm going to stop ½ inch away, because this place is getting into the down part. So I'm going to cut this out. Now I'm going to turn it and sew the other side, you know. I'm going to be sewing this other side. I'm going to open up this other part. Continue. All right. So this is it. This is what we have. I'm going to do the same thing to all of our lines. Then we'll get back. I will show you what the outcome would be like when I'm done. So guys, I finished fixing my boning. This is it. This is the front. As I turn it over, this is how it is. Now I'm going to press it with my iron to lay flat. This is the back. So I'm going to press it to lay flat. I've gone to iron, and here it is. We'll finish ironing for the back. So it's not laying flat. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to join to close my modesty panel. So I'm going to be closing this way. On a 1/2 inch. I'm going to be closing on 1/2 inch here. This is the center, but I'm going to be closing this point. This is the center back. So I'll be closing it on 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing for the down part, 1/2 inch, the upper part 1/2 inch, and I'll leave this other part open so we can turn it out. I'll leave it open. Now if you want to add a bone into your modesty panel, you add it at this other part. This is your center back. You add here, and you add here. You also add here, but I won't be doing that. So I'll do that. Continue. So guys, I've gone ahead to turn my modesty panel, and I've pressed it with my iron. Now we are going to be keeping the front aside. This is the lining for the back. I've finished running the lining for the front. So we are going to leave the upper bodies, keep them apart. I will move to the down. Okay, this is the back lining. I'll still leave it aside. And I'll be taking out these pins. So I was taking out the pattern. I'll open the wrong side. Now I'll be placing this. This is the, yeah. I'll be placing the right side, facing the wrong side. So like I said, you can do this by just going to run like 0.2 inch all the way from this upper part to this downside. You are going to be doing that for the both sides and for this upper part. But now I'll be using my glue gum to do that. Since I have a gum, so I'll just put my gum and place it on it. I'll do the same thing for the back. So So guys, now the next thing I'm going to do is to fix our yoke. I've cut out my yoke and I added 1/2 inch all round. Here I'm not supposed to add for the neck, but I want the neck to come up a little. I don't want it to be too low, so I had to add 1/2 inch to the neck. I did the same thing for the back neck here. So I'm going to unpin and I'm going to be fixing the yoke like this. Remember, the front is on fold. So I'll take it out. This is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be doing this. I will flip it like this. And I'll pin it down. This is how it will be. I'm going to fix it. For the back, this is the back. This is my center back. So I'm going to be fixing the back. I'm opening it up. So this is coming from here, the armhole side. You know, that was where we connected it from to this other point. So I'm going to pin it down. So on a 1/2 inch, I'm going to sew it down. I'll do the same thing for this other side. So this is all we are going to have. I'll join this, then we'll continue. So guys, I've gone ahead to join my yoke. So it's coming out really fine. It's going to be really beautiful. So now you would notch round your yoke. You're going to be notching round. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to join the up to the down. This is what I'll be doing. You're going to be joining them together. Now this is the center front. This is the center. I'm going to match it up with this other one. You might go out by 1/2 inch. You might want to go out by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be joining them. So I'm going to start from this part and I'm going to join all the way to this other side. When I'm done, I have to come back again to join all the way from here to this other part. So this is how it's going to look like when I join it. I will do that, then we'll continue. I've gone ahead to fix the waistline. This is coming out really beautiful though. I'm going to have to fix the waistline now. I'm going to turn it with the lining. This is for the front. I'll be turning the lining. This is the lining. I've already fixed it the same way you fixed your main fabric. That's how you're going to fix your lining. So now I'm going to be doing this front to front. Make sure your yoke is inside and you pin it down. You have to make sure that the side match. So I'm pinning that down, and this other side should make sure that it is matching. So we're going to sew all the way like this, and you can pin yours down. So I'm going to run this down. Alright, I've gone ahead to turn it with our lining. Now the next thing you do is to check for your yoke. Make sure your yoke is sitting well. You do not pick it with your pin when you were sewing. Make sure it's sitting well. By the time you're sure that your yoke is sitting well, what you have to do is to notch. Now you turn it over, turn it back, and notch round the bust line. So we are going to be notching so you can lay flat. We'll notch and iron. Make sure you're not cutting your lines. So after notching, make sure you notch this center front very well. So it can sit properly. So you're going to turn it over and give it a nice press. You're going to iron it. So this is how the inside is going to be looking. There won't be any seam line. Like, this is actually very beautiful. So now I'm going to iron it very well. They're already looking fine. So I'll keep this aside. Then I'll work on the back. So now we are going to prepare our loop to create our loophole. So for this, you're going to turn this, your yoke, you're going to take it inside. And we are going to be sewing on a 1/2 inch. Or you're turning it back and you're going to sew on this 1/2 inch you used all the way. So we are going to do that. You leave this side open for now because you're going to be adding a loophole to this side. So I'm going to create that. If you've checked out that underbust corset class that I did, you will see how to get your loopholes, how to fix them, how to turn it. So I think you should go and watch that video to know how to fix your loops. So I'm going to run this and this, making sure that your yoke is inside. So I will run this, then we'll continue.